Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Parker from Boosted Automotive, and today I'm going to be talking about the top 10 fastest German cars of all time. Germany is known for having extremely well-engineered vehicles, and when it comes to speed, they certainly do not fall behind. Between brands like Audi, Porsche, and Mercedes, there are so many insane cars on this list. Well, starting off the list strong, we've got the Audi R8 V10 Decennium. I don't know if I said that right, but I hope I did. This is the highest trim of the best performance car at Audi, the R8, so it is no surprise we find this on the list. The 5.2-liter V10 makes 620 horsepower, 428 pound-feet of torque, and it has a 0 to 60 of 3.1 seconds. The reason for the name Decennium, or however the hell you say it, is that the trim celebrates 10 years of the Audi's V10, and although it does not have a crazy expensive price tag for a supercar, which is $214,995, good luck finding one to buy even if you have the money, because only 50 of these masterpieces were made. Now it's time for the moment of truth. What is the top speed? Well, the top speed of this bad boy is 206 miles per hour. Not too shabby, starting off the list above 200. Coming in at number 9 is the Mercedes-AMG CLK GTR. This is one of Mercedes' most iconic cars, and the race version of it was built for 24-hour at Le Mans in 1998. That version of the car was able to get up to 215 miles per hour, but that's not the one we're talking about because that is not road legal. The road legal version has a 600 horsepower, 6-liter V12 LS600 engine. It made 538 pound-feet of torque and accelerated from 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds. These cars are even more rare than the R8, and this is because only 25 street legal cars were made, plus they were such like a special car. The reason for the number being so low is that in order for a car to be entered at Le Mans, it requires at least 25 production versions of the vehicle. Even if one becomes available to buy somewhere, you better have an extra like $4.5 million laying around or you won't be able to get it. So what does this baby clock its top speed? Well, the answer to that is 208 miles per hour, beating the R8 by 2. How could you make a list about German cars without including Porsche or Porsche? I don't know how you say it. I like to say Porsche because it makes me feel fancy. So that's what we're going to go with this whole list. All right. The first but definitely not last Porsche on this list is the 959S. This car has some interesting history. The car was originally made in order to meet Group A rally specs to develop the 911's all-wheel drive system. However, the car wasn't made in time for Group A, but this didn't change how much of an icon it was and still is. The standard models were made from 1986 to 1993, and it made 450 horsepower from a twin-turboed flat 6. However, the S version added larger turbos along with 58 more ponies, bringing the total up to 508 horsepower. The top speed is no joke either, beating out the two much newer cars on this list at 211 miles per hour. The coveted 911 just had to make an appearance somewhere on this list, coming in the form of the GT2 RS. Just like its older brother, the 959S, the GT2 RS utilizes a twin-turboed flat 6. The displacement is much larger, coming in at 3.8 liters, but the 700 horsepower certainly makes up for it. With a 2.7 second 0 to 60, this beast will press you against the back of your seat. Not only is it good in a straight line, the GT2 RS recorded a 6:47.3 minute lap time on the Nürburgring. This makes it the second fastest production car in the world on the track, just a few seconds behind the Lamborghini SVJ Aventador. Although this car definitely prioritizes lap times, it is still reported by Porsche to have a top speed of 211.3 miles per hour, barely beating out the 959S. The reason I say reported is because separate third-party testers have claimed that it is capable of 219 miles per hour. Whatever the case, I don't think any of us will be testing that theory out because I don't think anyone watching this video is going to be having a GT2 RS. The final Porsche on this list is the 918 Spyder. One of the few hypercars and arguably the best hypercar in the world, the 918 is no joke. She has a 4.6-liter V8 hybrid drivetrain to kick out 887 swole stallions. It also makes 944 pound-feet of torque and is able to hit 60 miles per hour in a staggering 2.1 seconds. The quarter-mile time is 9.8 seconds at 148.5 miles per hour, which is insanely nuts. These insane numbers come due to the fact that the car only weighs 3,693 pounds, which might sound a lot, but when you think about the big batteries and all the stuff that's in it, and then how it has a 4.6-liter V8, it's really not all that much, and I don't think anyone's going to argue with it because it gets to 60 miles an hour in 2.1 seconds. If you were interested in buying one of these, I hope you are rich because the 918 Spyder boasts a price tag of $845,000. If you wanted to upgrade to the YSAC package, I'm pretty sure I said that wrong, but it's alright. You'd have to cough up $929,000. Good luck, my friend. This insane engineering from Porsche allows the 918 Spyder to get up to 214 miles per hour. The Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren Stirling Moss Edition is only half German, but it's still German. The reason it is only half-blood is because the car is a collaboration between Mercedes and McLaren. This thing better make the list if those two teamed up to make it. Only 75 units of the Stirling Moss edition were made, and if you wanted to buy one today, it would only cost like $3 million, you know, not that much money. This car was made in honor of Stirling Moss campaigning the 300 SLR in the Mile Magilla, probably said that wrong, race of 1955. No wonder it is so expensive. This windshield-less speedster contains a 5.4-liter SLR AMG V8 under the hood, which makes 641 horsepower and gets up to 60 miles per hour in 3.4 seconds. Imagine accelerating at that speed with no windshield. That would be quite the experience. Beating out the 918 Spyder by 3 miles per hour, the SLR McLaren Stirling Moss edition is able to hit 217 miles per hour. Now, before I get to the RUF or RUF, I don't know how to say it. I'm just going to go with RUF, so do not come at me for bad pronunciations. I need to say something. Most of the cars from this point on are all based off of other German cars before, going as far as using their engines. One uses an Audi V8 and the other 3 use Porsche engines, including the RUF CTR Anniversary, which is what we are talking about right now. The original, oh, I said I was going to say RUF, but I'm going to go with RUF. I like it better. The original RUF CTR was built in the 80s and 90s and was able to hit 213 miles per hour. However, this car was not street legal, hence why it is not on the list. In 2017, RUF made the Anniversary edition with only 50 of these being built. Heavily based off its predecessor in the Porsche 911/959, this bad boy looks like it's straight out of the 80s and 90s. But these deceiving looks are not what they seem, with the body of the car being built for performance by RUF. The light carbon fiber brings the total weight of the car down to only 2,645 pounds, giving the car the ability to hit 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. With all of these factors combined, the CTR Anniversary is capable of hitting a top speed of 224 miles per hour. The Gumpert Apollo kicks off our top 3, and this car is no joke. Backed by a 4.1-liter twin-turbocharged Audi V8, this puppy can hit 0 to 60 in 3.1 seconds. The Apollo was able to complete a lap on the Nürburgring in 7:11.57 minutes in 2009, which is still would be insanely good now, but it is even more impressive when the Apollo recorded the lap back in 2009. The big honkin' Audi V8 puts out 690 horsepower, and it's not even too bad on price. You can buy one of these for around $400,000 if you're able to find one. Now, time for the moment we've all been waiting for, top speed of the Gumpert, which is 225 miles per hour. Alright, now back to the Porsche lookalikes. The second RUF on the list, the CTR3 Clubsport, is a lot more powerful than the previous RUF. The CTR3 once again utilizes a Porsche twin-turbo flat 6, with this one making 690 horsepower, but the Clubsport edition, which is the one we're talking about, bumps that up to 760, which is quite a lot. The mid-engine platform of this car was designed by the same Canadian company that designed the Ford GT, being Multimatic. In my opinion, this is one of the best looking cars on the list. You can't go wrong with a Porsche-esque design, I guess. After hitting a 0 to 60 in 3 seconds flat, the Clubsport is able to get all the way up to 236 miles per hour, our biggest jump in speed yet. Now, our final and number 1 fastest car on this list looks just like a Porsche and uses one of their engines. They've got to be doing something right. The GT9R is a car that not many know about, which is surprising when you take its achievements and history into account. We will talk about said achievements in a minute, but first let's talk about the actual car. Once again, using a Porsche twin-turbo flat 6, the GT9R puts out way more horsepower than every other car on this list. The flat 6 makes 1,120 horsepower. I want whatever 9FF was smoking back in 2009, because that is crazy, dude. Holy cow, that's a lot of ponies. The whole reason this car was made was to beat the current street legal speed record set by the SSC Ultimate Aero TT, which clocked 256.18 miles per hour. Unfortunately, the GT9R fell just short when it did 254 miles per hour. Even worse, before improvements could be made to the car, Bugatti stole the record in 2010 with the Veyron when it did 260 miles per hour. So yes, the number 1 fastest road legal German car is the 9FF GT9R, the top speed of 254 miles per hour. It is really a shame that more people don't know about this car because it is really cool. It's like just insane in performance terms. Anyway, that concludes our video. If you want to see more car content, leave a comment and subscribe. Thanks.